Welcome, welcome to the second day of Cosensing, the energies that support the embodiment of co-creating, funding ecosystems for regeneration. Inviting you to just take a moment to be with how you are in this moment, how you are right now. Noticing your breath, whatever stories are carried by your breath. And if it helps, just slowing it down to really feel the air coming in and going out. Noticing the atmosphere in your in-breath. Perhaps sensing all the beings that contribute to the air that you can breathe. And as you breathe out, perhaps noticing how you contribute to the life of the beings that make the air be something you can breathe. With every breath, perhaps becoming more intimate with that inevitable sense of interrelatedness that makes life possible in this planet. Inviting you to notice or imagine how the earth is tenderly holding you right now. And with the out breath, inviting your body to rest a bit deeper, a bit deeper. Inviting your energy, your imagination to connect with the roots of your life. Those threads that nourish you, be it directly in the shape of food and water, but also the connections with other beings that make who you are, all the teachings that you have received, the intricate ways that you are connected to the web of all life. Noticing how your presence also nourishes the web of life, inviting you to sense threads, connections, care for one another, knowing one another. Touching perhaps with the different ways we know one another, the ways the body, the soul can recognize, the ways that we learn through our experience, noticing perhaps also the filters of our culture, our upbringing, the stories we've been told and tell ourselves and each other. Noticing when they help, what energies work in you, in your heart. Noticing when perhaps they get in the way of fully knowing with a fresh heart. Inviting you to connect with the memory or the possibility of the fruits of love for life, for yourself, for beings you care about. Inviting to let go of assumptions of how they should look, how they taste, how they feel. Just connecting with the possibility that caring for one another brings fruits to your life. Sensing what makes you connected, what parts in your body support that sense of knowing the sense of trust. How does it feel to be held in a space of awareness? What is the energy that nourishes the bonds of trust between yourself and other beings? Sensing your breath, perhaps enveloping that knowing of how to trust. I invite you to imagine, how does it feel to be a tree? Connecting again with your breath, the sky, imagining the presence of leaves, taking in the light, what is the light that you transform into matter? Is it perhaps knowing? Is it perhaps care, kindness? Connecting with other sources of light that might be more difficult, things that turn your being into action. Perhaps your sense of outrage at injustices and inequalities, sense of sorrow and grief for what is unnecessarily lost. The sense of sorrow and grief for what is lost as part of life. What lights do you want to welcome today? What supports you transform them into matter? Perhaps sensing the sheer joy of life, of this being human, this being tree, this being of the earth. This capacity to take in the complexity of life. Inviting you to connect with what supports your own leaves. What are the branches in your life? Perhaps sensing your arms, what supports you heal. What supports your joy. And allowing any sensations, any images or words that emerge to be a nourishing energy for your arms, allowing them to flow, gently, inviting you to connect with the trunk of your tree essence. Maybe it's a sense of uprightness, maybe it's a sense of being grounded. Maybe your trunk is like a willow's, supple and flexible, or like an oak's, strong and stubborn. Inviting you to imagine the sense of trust a young tree has as it grows towards the sky. Perhaps sensing a purpose and intention, following the light. What layers does your trunk need? What type of bark? What other beings you like to grow around you? What creatures climb up and down your trunk, perhaps bringing messages and carrying your wisdom to other trees, to other life forms, or simply finding shelter? What forms of life does your trunk support? Inviting you to connect with your roots, sensing perhaps how the fallen leaves can turn into protection, warmth, nourishment. Inviting you to connect with the energy of the soil going down into the roots that are shared, into the mysterious communication of mycelia. Sensing perhaps other trees in this ecosystem of CoFundEco, bringing them into our awareness. Sensing where the roots, the branches touch. Inviting you to connect with the way trees trust. And as we come to the end of this Cosensing, coming back to your breath, your human breath, your sense of grounding, the way you touch the ground, the way the earth supports you. Inviting you to carry any curiosity or possibility from the wisdom of trees to inform and enlighten your day. Thank you for being here.